Good morning, guys. Another day for ELA, and we're going to start a new story today. One I think you'll enjoy as we finished reading Smoke Jumpers yesterday. And today we're going to start one called Perseus and Medusa. Maybe some people you've never heard of before, but it's a pretty interesting story. And we've got a few vocabulary words that we need to make sure we know before we read our story today. And our story for the next couple days is a drama, a play again, like Catch Me If You Can was. So we're going to be acting it out in our Google Meet tomorrow. Not today, but we will tomorrow. So let's take a look at these 5 vocabulary words for our story and make sure we know them and what they mean before we start reading. The first word here is devised. Devised. If you devised a plan, you figured out a way to achieve that plan. You devise it. You create. The children devised a plan to stay up past their bedtime on Friday night. So they came up with a plan to figure out how they can stay up past their bedtime on Friday night. You figure out a way to achieve a plan. Distress. If you're in distress, you're very worried and upset. The puppy seemed to be in distress whenever his owner left the room. Have you ever felt distressed? You were really worried about something or upset about something. Maybe your parents were about to see your grade card and you knew it wasn't great or something like that. You were in distress. Odyssey. Here's a word you probably don't know and have never used. Odyssey. An odyssey is a long journey that's exciting and eventful. When I was a child, a trip to the hardware store with all its fancy tools and equipment seemed like an odyssey. So an odyssey is a long journey that's exciting and eventful. Not a word we use very much, is it? Destiny. A person's destiny is what will eventually happen to him or to happen in his or her life. It was Perseus's destiny to battle the sea monster and win the love of Andromeda. Sounds like an interesting story. These are characters in our story. So your destiny, what's going to happen in your life? And I think we've got one more. Yeah. Mortal. A mortal person is a person who lives and dies. In myths, gods are not mortal because they live forever. So we're going to look at this story we're reading today as a Greek mythology story. Maybe you've never read one of them before, but they're pretty interesting. In myths, there's a difference between mortals and gods. And so we're going to find out today in the story, this Greek mythology, that what a mortal is. A mortal is somebody who can die. The daredevil often forgot he was mortal and took careless risk that would one day cause him serious harm. So daredevil is somebody who don't think they could ever get hurt. They forget that they're mortal, that you could die. All right. As we read our story today, I want you to do this because this story is probably quite different from any story you've read before. And when we're reading something maybe we don't completely understand, sometimes we have to stop and ask ourselves some questions. Ask and answer questions. Asking and answering questions before, during, and after reading can help you make predictions, can help you clarify things that might seem unclear. If you don't understand something, ask yourself some questions. What is this talking about? What is the author trying to show me here? Helps you think more deeply about the text. Some questions you can ask might be, when is this happening? Who is this person? What will this be about? Where in the text can I find an answer to my question? And why did the author write this? So maybe as we read our story today, we'll ask some of these questions and to help us understand the story better. It's good to ask questions. There's nothing wrong with asking questions. So today you need to get your reading book out, open it to page 274. 274. If you need to pause the video, then do it now. Grab your reading book before we start reading. 274. All right, so as we look at our story today, we see it's called Perseus and the Fall of Medusa. Have you ever heard of Medusa? A woman with snakes for hair. Kind of scary. Perseus and the Fall of Medusa is a Greek myth told in the form of a play. A myth is an ancient story that may be about the idea of good and evil. A play is a story that can be performed for an audience. Okay? So these plays use lines of dialogue. We're going to look at some text structure of a play tomorrow, but they use lines of dialogue to reveal the plot. They use stage directions to help set the scene and develop the characters. Stage directions are set in italics. Characters in myths typically includes gods, goddesses, or other beings with superhuman powers. So let's read this story, this play, and see what we think about this. So Perseus and the fall of Medusa. You see Medusa, beautiful Medusa here, huh? This story is retold by Claire Daniel, and it's illustrated by Pep Botella. Let's find out who in the world these people are. What do you think this story is going to be about? There's a question we can ask. What in the world is the story going to be about? The fall of Medusa? Well, let's look at our cast of characters before we get started. That'll help us. We've got Polydectes, a king. We've got Perseus, the son of Danae. We've got Danae, the mother of Perseus. We've got Athena, a goddess of courage. I need to scroll down. We've got Zeus, the father of all gods. Hermes, the god of travel. Medusa is a monster. And then Andromeda. Doesn't say who Andromeda is. Just Andromeda. Okay. All right. So look at our picture here. This must be some kind of king or something. They got people fanning him and somebody bringing him a cup of some kind. So scene 1. The setting is ancient Greece. Lights up on this large banquet hall where people are standing and chatting. Lights go up on Polydectes, who stands upper stage right. Polydectes, sweeping his arm toward the door. Behold, my banquets. Everyone is invited, but all know that the price of admission is a gift fit for a king. A man bows and presents a golden goblet to the king. Yes, a golden goblet is a worthy gift, he laughs. Yet soon Perseus will come with no gift. He is penniless but loaded with pride, which I intend to use to my good. I've devised a plan to marry his mother, Danae, who has so far refused me. Yet the trap is set. Soon Danae will be mine. Well, let's ask a question here. What in the world is going on? He raises his fist to indicate victory. So it sounds like Polydectes is some kind of king and wants to marry Perseus' mom, Danae, but she doesn't want anything to do with him. Polydectes, Perseus enters, holding the hand of his mother. Polydectes, oh, Perseus, son of Zeus. Oh, he's the son of Zeus. Who is Zeus? He's the father of all gods. So is Perseus a god? I don't know. Son of Zeus and the lovely Danae, what gift do you bring your king? Perseus, my king, you surely know I cannot afford an expensive gift. Polydectes, attention everyone. This man insults his king by bringing no gift. Crowd twitters in disapproval. Are you so lazy you spend your time gazing up at the stars and wishing on them for your fortune? The crowd laughs. Perseus angrily, I can give you any gift you wish. Just name it. That's quite a claim. Tell me what you want. So he can't buy a gift, but he's going to get a gift? We'll figure out what's going on here. Polydectes, innocently. If it's not too much trouble, I'd really like to have the head of the Gorgon Medusa. Crowd, ooh. Perseus, firmly. No monster will stop me. I'll travel the world to get the job done. Remember, Medusa's the monster with snake hair. Polydectes takes Dana's hand. And I will look after your pharaoh mother until you return. If you return. Danae in distress. Perseus, no. This odyssey will mean certain death. Polydectes. Don't worry, Danae. Can't you see your son has the courage of an army? Perseus aside. What a fool I am. Medusa's face is framed with a hideous mop of snakes. Any man who looks upon her is turned to stone. But if destiny calls me to die, so be it. The lights dim and scene 2 begins. Lights up on Perseus, who stands in Medusa's bedroom. Medusa is sleeping. Snakes from her head hiss at his arrival. Yikes. Enter Zeus, Athena, and Hermes. Perseus kneels to them. Zeus. Arise, son. Perseus rises. Your bravery is remarkable, and we've come to help you. Take this, my sword. It cuts through any substance as though it is soft butter. Athena, I give you this shield which acts like a mirror. When you approach Medusa, look into the shield so her reflection cannot hurt you. Also take this knapsack. The head is harmless inside it. The head is harmless inside it? Wow, that's weird. Okay. Hermes, take my winged slippers. They will fly you away from all harm. Perseus, I promise to bring honor to you all. Zeus, Athena, and Hermes exit. Lights come up on Medusa using the reflection from her shield. Perseus approaches Medusa, who awakens. Medusa hissing, so you'll come to harm me. More courageous men than you have fallen to me. Look at me, you coward. Perseus, but that I could look at you. But your looks are deadly to me and any other mortal. You bring death wherever you appear. So it's time for you to meet your end. Medusa, and how will you escape? You will not. My sisters will attack you. Perseus, perhaps, but I wear winged slippers that will carry me to the god Zephyr. He will carry me on his soft winds. Back to my home. Medusa moves toward him, the snakes from her hair reaching out toward him. Perseus raises his sword, and lights turn to black. Scene 3. What's going to happen? Lights up on Andromeda, who is chained to a rock overlooking the sea. Perseus, holding knapsack and sword, comes down from the sky and sails beside her. Perseus, what is your crime, dear lady, that you're chained to this rock? Andromeda, my mother angered Poseidon, the god of the sea. He overheard my mother boast that I was more beautiful than his daughter. Perseus, and so you are. Andromeda, perhaps, but not for long. Poseidon has set me as bait for the sea monster. I shall be the monster's next meal. A breeze moves her hair softly as a whisper, which stirs feelings of love from Perseus. Oh, brother. Perseus, don't be afraid. The sea monster will eat no more. Andromeda, pointing to the sea. There, it arises. Perseus, look away from me. She does, and Perseus withdraws Medusa's head from the knapsack. The sea monster turns to stone and sinks in the sea. Then Perseus cuts the chain with the sword to free Andromeda. So what just happened? So the sea monster's coming up. It's going to eat Andromeda. And out of the knapsack, he pulls Medusa's head. So I'm supposing that with the sword that he was given, he cut off Medusa's head and put it in the bag. And now he held it up and turned the dragon to stone. Andromeda, kind sir, you've returned a life to me I thought had been stolen. Perseus, give me your hand then, and I will protect you on your journey through life. Andromeda, who are you, kind sir? Perseus, I am Perseus, son of Danae. Andromeda, oh, then I'm sorry, sir, for you. Perseus says, why so? I just found you. I'm the luckiest man alive. Andromeda says, don't you know what's happened to your mother? Perseus says, no, how is she? Andromeda says she refused to marry Polydectes, so he put her in the dungeon to punish her. Perseus says angrily, the king has gone too far. Come, we will reverse this wrong. The lights dim. Scene 3. Lights up at the palace of Polydectes, where Polydectes sits on a throne surrounded by lords, ladies, and guards. Enter Perseus and Andromeda. Polydectes, Perseus, you live to see another day. How very clever you are. Perseus says, King Polydectes, this is Andromeda. Andromeda bows. Polydectes, is she the gift you bring? I do need another servant. Perseus says, not at all. I've come to claim my mother. Polydectes says, very well, motions to guard. Go fetch her. I take it you did not succeed on your odyssey. I knew you to be a failure from the minute I met you. From the minute I met you. You know that I'll have to banish you from my kingdom or worse. Perseus says, whatever pleases the king. And the guard returns with Danae. What do you think's about to happen? You think he's going to pull the head of Medusa out of the bag again and show it to the king? That's what I'm thinking is going to happen. We'll see. Polydectes. Here she is, safe and sound. Perseus loudly. Mother Andromeda, and anyone who calls me your friend should look away. I believe he's going to. Danae and Andromeda look away, but everyone else ignores his request. Perseus pulls out Medusa's head from the knapsack, and everyone but Danae and Andromeda turn to stone. Perseus places the head back in the bag. Danae, Perseus, you saved us all. Perseus, I want to meet you to meet my new wife, mother. Meet Andromeda. They all hug. Danae, my brave son, great things will come of you. Come, let's leave this horrid place and let us celebrate your wedding. The lights dim. The end. Okay, well, that wasn't my favorite story, I'll be honest with you. But it's okay. I'm not a big Greek mythology fan. But it's a story in our book, so we read it. So there we go. It's a play. And so it's good that we practice these because we're going to see some plays like this on the benchmark, okay? All right, let's take a look at some of the questions that we can talk about. What details help us know what Perseus is like? Well, he talks he couldn't afford an expensive gift, so he must be kind of poor. What else? He's brave, isn't he? He said nothing's going to stop him from getting something for the king. And he must be somebody that's respectable because all of those people wanted to come and give him help to beat Medusa. He's strong. He beat Medusa. And then he's smart because he turned everybody to stone to save his mother and Andromeda. How was Perseus able to conquer Medusa? Well, he's given a sword and a reflective shield and shoes that fly. What's similar about the ways in which Perseus rescues Andromeda and Danae? Well, he uses Medusa's head both times, doesn't he? To turn the monster to stone and then turn the king and everybody else to stone. So there's the story. What do you think about it? You might like it. You might think it's a wonderful story and really enjoyed it. I hope you did. Let's take a look at today's grammar next. In today's grammar, again, we're using homophones. And today there's only 2 instead of 3, and it's. This first it's without the apostrophe means something belongs to it. We saw it when we did our possessive pronoun lesson last week. It's another possessive pronoun. Something belongs to it. Its nose is glowing red. The nose belongs to it. No, there's no apostrophe on it because if you put an apostrophe, that it's means it is. It is nose is glowing red wouldn't make sense. So when we use this, we have to use it in place of the words it is. It's amazing that Rudolph can do that. It is amazing. That makes sense, doesn't it? So the it's without the apostrophe means something belongs to it. The it's with the apostrophe means it is. So think about that as you do your assignment today and to try to figure out which it's to use in the sentence. You're going to do a grammar assignment today, and then you're going to do a vocabulary review on these words that we've looked at for 2 days now, okay? Or we just looked at today, actually, but we're going to go ahead and review them and with a little activity today. Okay, and you can go ahead and get started on your assignments. I will see you tomorrow.